my world, lady love.
I don't believe in turning the other cheek every time, you dig, because you ain't got but two, you know. You can only get hit so many times.
He might have had a legendary voice, but do you know that it was discovered that Lou Rawls was really violent? From beating his wife so hard.
Says she got the sweating and her eyes got all blurry. Honey, all she could see was just red everywhere until that red was covered with black. And that black was Lou Rawls' fist punching her across the face because he was upset that she found his letter about marrying Maven.
To abandoning his child.
Per gossip, he was messing around, and he got a young, beautiful lady pregnant, and then she gave birth to a daughter named Kendra Rawls. Now, I don't know much about Kendra or her mother because Lou didn't really spend a lot of time with Kendra.
As well as abandoning his wife. Lou Rawls lived a really violent life. One where many people who were close to him ended up suffering for his character. Let's dive into it. Was this the real Lou Rawls? And why did the media barely talk about it? Today, we're uncovering the story the headlines swept under the rug.
The winner is, ladies and gentlemen, it's a tie between Mr. Teddy Pendergast and Lou Rawls.
Lou Rawls was born in Chicago and grew up with his grandmother in a poor neighborhood. As a child, he loved music and started singing in church when he was only 7 years old. Later, he joined local singing groups, where he met Sam Cooke and Curtis Mayfield.
Well, I met Sam Cooke when we were both about, around not quite teenagers.
These friendships helped shape his career in music.
Shit, we thought we were bad, but I was singing in junior choir, and he was singing at his daddy's church. Not much, but then we formed a little quartet. Sam was the person. I mean, he had that voice that mesmerized people.
After finishing high school, Rawls joined different gospel groups. He sang with Sam Cooke in one group and later replaced Cooke in another. His talent took him to Los Angeles, where he continued to perform with well-known gospel singers. In 1955, Rawls joined the U.S. Army as a paratrooper. He jumped from planes 26 times while serving in the 82nd Airborne Division. After 3 years, he left the Army and returned to music. He started performing again with his old group, now called The Travelers. In 1958, Rawls was in a terrible car accident while traveling with Sam Cooke. He was so badly hurt that doctors thought he was dead. He was in a coma for over 5 days and needed a long time to recover. His memory was gone for months, but he slowly got better. He later said the accident changed his life. In 1959, Rawls performed at the Hollywood Bowl, which helped him get noticed. He started recording songs and released his first singles. In 1962, he signed with Capitol Records and sang backup vocals for Sam Cooke's famous songs. Around this time, he also released his own jazz album, which sold well and helped him become more popular. Rawls had success, but his big break came in 1966 when he released an album called Soulin'. One of the songs, Love Is a Hurtin' Thing, became a hit.
Yes, love is a hurting thing.
The next year, he won a Grammy Award for his song Dead End Street.
I'm gonna get off of this dead end street. Oh, I'll never go back to.
That same year, he performed at a famous music festival, which made him even more well-known. In 1976, he signed with a new record label and released All Things in Time, which became a huge success. His song, You'll Never Find Another Love Like Mine, became his biggest hit. It sold millions of copies and made him one of the biggest stars in soul music. Another hit song, Lady Love, followed in 1977, making sure his name stayed at the top.
You're my world, lady love. Yes, love is a hurting thing.
Many people loved Lou's music, but in the music business, things were not always easy for him. He once said something that made people think he had no freedom in his career. He said he was owned by a record label. This made fans wonder if he had control over his own music. When a singer signs with a record label, they agree to follow certain rules. The company pays for making the albums, promoting the songs, and arranging tours. But sometimes artists feel like they have no power. They must sing the songs the company picks. They must release albums when the company says so. Some artists feel trapped. Lou Rawls may have felt the same way. He had a long career with many hit songs. But working under a contract might have made him feel like he was not free to make his own choices. Some singers leave their record labels when they feel this way, but leaving is not always easy. There are legal rules in contracts. Breaking them can bring big problems. Fans loved Lou Rawls for his music, but behind the scenes, he may have struggled with business deals. The music world can be tough for artists. Even a great singer like Lou Rawls might have felt powerless at times. Lou Rawls' arrest and the allegations against him. It also turns out Lou had violent sides to him.
I don't believe in turning the other cheek every time, you dig, because you ain't got but two, you know. You can only get hit so many times.
Lou got arrested in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Police said he hurt his girlfriend, Nina Inman, during an argument in a hotel room. The fight started because they were talking about an ex-girlfriend. Things got worse, and police said Rawls grabbed Inman's hair and threw her to the ground. She had scratches on her neck when officers arrived. Because of this, Rawls was taken to jail and charged with battery. Rawls was in Albuquerque for a concert at a local casino. After he got arrested, he paid $2,500 bail and was released. Even though he had been in jail, his concert still happened as planned. Many people came to watch him perform. Some tickets were selling for as much as $35. After the arrest, police said they found physical evidence that Inman had been hurt. They noticed the scratches on her neck. She told officers that Rawls shoved her during their argument. The police believed her story. Later, the case went to court. A judge looked at the evidence and decided there was not enough proof to continue with the charges. Rawls' publicist said the judge threw out the case because the evidence was not strong. The judge also said some of the statements used against Rawls were not allowed in court. After the decision, Rawls was free to go. After the case was dropped, Rawls spoke to the public. He said that he and Nina Inman were still in love. He also said they had moved in together and planned to spend the rest of their lives with each other. Rawls said he was happy that he was found innocent. He believed the whole situation was a misunderstanding. Even though Rawls was arrested, his career did not suffer much. He was a well-loved singer, and many fans continued to support him. Some people believed he was innocent, while others thought he was guilty, but got away with it. Rawls was lucky because the charges against him were dropped. If the case had gone differently, it might have hurt his career more. Some news reports called it a shoving match. This made it sound like it was not a big deal. The words used by the media made the situation seem less serious. People who read or heard about it might not have thought it was an important matter. When the media uses soft words, it can change how people feel about a situation. Some may believe that what happened was just a small fight instead of a serious case of domestic violence. Many people who are not celebrities might have stayed in jail for a longer time. Fame and money often make legal problems easier to handle. Rawls did not face immediate punishment or major problems in his career. Rawls had 2 concerts scheduled at Isleta Pueblo's casino. The people in charge of the casino said the shows would go on. Even after his arrest, Rawls was allowed to continue his work. This showed how different things can be for famous people. If an ordinary person had been in the same situation, their job might have been affected. But Rawls' career did not suffer right away. The police officer who arrested Rawls said he acted like a gentleman. He did not fight with the police or cause any trouble. This might have helped him avoid more problems. Some people might think this means he did nothing wrong. But being polite during an arrest does not change what happened before the police arrived. Rawls was well known for his music. He had won 3 Grammy Awards. Some of his famous songs were Dead End Street and A Natural Man. Many people admired his talent, and his fans loved his music. Instead of calling it an act of violence, some news reports used words that made it seem minor. People who read those reports might not have realized the seriousness of the situation. This showed how fame and media influence can shape how the public sees a situation. In the end, the news did not harm his career, and he continued to be a successful entertainer. The wedding after the assault and the family feud at Lou Rawls' funeral. Lou and Nina got married in 2004. This was just 1 year after an incident where Rawls was arrested for domestic violence. Many people wondered why Nina still wanted to marry him after such a serious situation, but despite everything, they went ahead with the wedding. Nina met Lou Rawls when she worked as a flight attendant for Continental Airlines. They started dating, and their relationship moved fast. 2 years after they got married, they adopted a son. But things were not peaceful in their marriage. Rawls was diagnosed with cancer, and soon after, he and Nina had a big fight. Some people say she threw him out. Others say he left on his own. Whatever the truth was, things got worse between Nina and Lou's daughter, Lana. Lou had children from previous relationships. His daughter Lana and his wife Nina did not get along. The tension between them became worse when Rawls was close to dying. Nina said Lana took his jewelry, wedding ring, Grammys, and gold and platinum albums. Nina wanted the wedding ring back so Rawls could be buried with it. But Lana said none of that was true. A close friend of hers said Rawls had told his road manager to remove those items from his home in Arizona in a notarized letter. This made things even more complicated. When Lou Rawls passed away, his funeral became a battleground between Nina and Lana. The funeral was held at West Angeles Church in Los Angeles. Many stars came to honor Rawls, including Stevie Wonder, Della Reese, Joan Baez, Andrae Crouch, and Etta James. But behind the scenes, things were not peaceful. Nina left a hateful message on Lana's phone. This message was later played in court. In the message, Nina insulted Lana and even threatened to destroy her father financially. Now, this message was in danger of becoming public. People expected it to appear on radio shows and in the tabloids. This only made the situation worse. Even though Nina and Lana were fighting, Nina still invited Lana to the funeral. But she did not want Lana to sit with the family. Nina even filed a police complaint against Lana. She accused her of taking her father's things. The fight over Rawls' funeral was not just between Nina and Lana. Another daughter, Kendra, took Nina's side. Lana and Kendra became enemies. Meanwhile, Rawls' son, Lou Jr., was in jail, so he could not be part of the dispute. This made things even more complicated. Another disagreement came up about Rawls' final wishes. Nina said she was following his will and burying him. But Lana and some of Rawls' friends said he wanted to be cremated. Nobody could agree on what Rawls truly wanted. This only added more drama to an already difficult situation. Before Rawls died, things between him and Nina had been very bad. In November, they had a big fight. After that, Lana took Rawls and kept him away from Nina. Some people said Nina had kicked Rawls out, while others said Lana was trying to protect him. It was unclear what really happened. During this time, Nina and Rawls were about to get their marriage annulled. They even went to court in December to talk about it. Days before Rawls passed away, he got a message to Nina through a doctor. Nina said they reunited, and he died with her by his side. She also said she invited Lana to see her father one last time, but Lana refused to come. This became another point of disagreement between them. One side said Nina was lying. The other side said Lana was in the wrong. There was no peace between them. The whole situation became a battle of words. It was one person's story against the others. Friends of Lana said Nina was a liar. They even called her a psychopath. They claimed they had proof that she was dangerous. But Nina went ahead with the funeral as planned. She said she regretted leaving the hateful phone message. Now that it might be made public, she knew it would not look good. There was also a fight over money. Nina said Rawls' estate was worth less than $1 million. She claimed all of his children were taken care of in his will. But Lana and others did not believe that. They thought Nina was trying to control everything. The truth would only come out once the will was officially filed in court. So, the folks say it was around 1963 when Lou met Lana. And let me tell you, the way they got together was something else. People called it scandalous, and they weren't lying. See, Lana was dating this club owner named Ralph. One day, Ralph came up with an idea. He thought, let me do something special for Lana's birthday. So, he decided to bring Lou Rawls to sing at his club. Now, that was a big deal because Lou was already making a name for himself. Ralph was sitting next to Lana, whispering in her ear. Didn't I tell you he was great? Didn't I tell you this man could sing? He was hyping Lou up so much, talking about how talented he was. Maybe he went a little too far because Lana started looking at Lou in a different way. She started thinking, well, if Lou is that good, maybe I'm with the wrong man. Now, here's where things get wild. Later that night, Lana got home, and she made up her mind. She was going to see Lou again, no matter what. And that was the night she got her first taste of Lou's love. Lou became her everything. In the early days, things were rough for Lou and Lana. Lana had to hide on the floorboard because it wasn't safe for a white woman to be seen with a black man in some places. It wasn't pretty, but she did what she had to do to be with the man she loved. But did Lou really love her? One day, Lou and Lana ended up in Los Angeles. They checked into a cheap motel in a rough part of town. Lou told Lana he had a gig to go to and would be back later that night. But he never came back. He left Lana sitting in that motel room for weeks. No food, no money, nothing. The only reason she survived was because some of the prostitutes and pimps took pity on her and gave her food. And you know what made it worse? Lou wasn't even thinking about her. He had moved in with a woman named Candy, a drug dealer. He was living his best life while Lana was starving in that motel. But even after all that, guess what? They stayed together. In 1963, the same year they met, they got married. At first, it seemed like a happy time, but Lou's drinking and drug use got worse. And let me tell you, that spelled disaster for Lana. She wasn't like some women who fight back. She just took whatever Lou gave her. After they got married, Lana gave birth to their son, Lou Jr. She stayed home while Lou traveled for shows. One day, he had a gig in Los Angeles but didn't come home. Lana found out he was staying at a hotel. The next morning, she showed up. She walked into the room and saw Lou in bed with another woman. Lana just stood there. She looked at Lou and said, "Looks like you had a good night." And Lou? He just sat up in bed, shrugged, and acted like it was no big deal. But let me tell you, if you thought that was bad, you won't believe what happened next. While married to Lana, Lou had written a letter asking for permission to marry a woman named Mavis. When Lana read the letter, she started breathing fast. She felt dizzy, and her vision became blurry. She was so angry that all she could see was red. Then, suddenly, everything went black. The black she saw was Lou's fist hitting her face. He was mad because she found the letter. He slapped her across the head, making her stumble. Lana was in shock. She couldn't believe what just happened. She had just found out that Lou wanted to marry another woman, and now he was hitting her for knowing the truth. The next day, Lou acted like nothing happened. He came back to Lana, pretending to be sweet. He told her he loved her and begged her not to leave.
Cooke was my godfather.
Sam Cooke was your godfather?
Yeah.
Some people say Sam Cooke had a special interest in Lana Rawls. Lou was known for being unfaithful, and every time he and Lana had problems, Sam would step in. Gossip says Sam always told Lana to forgive Lou. He would say things like, "Women are just part of the job for a singer." They will always be there, but Lou loves you. People say Sam always had a reason to stop by Lou and Lana's house. He would claim he was checking on his godson, Lou Jr. At first, it didn't seem strange, but over time, his visits became more and more frequent. One time, when Lou was away on tour, Sam suddenly called Lana, and he came over. He looked her straight in the eyes and said, "Lana, I have to tell you something. Lou is like my brother, but he is a dog. He cheats on you all the time, and it hurts me to see you love him so much when he doesn't treat you right." Years later, gossip spread that Lana admitted if Sam had pushed just a little more, she might have given in. She said Sam was so charming that it was hard to resist him. But she also wasn't sure if he was serious. Maybe he was just being his usual flirty self, or maybe he wanted to see if she was loyal to Lou. Some believe Sam truly wanted to be with Lana. Others think he was testing her. But one thing is clear. Lana felt something that day. She wasn't sure what Sam really wanted, and that made her hold back. But deep down, she wondered what would have happened if she had let herself fall for him. Before Rawls died, Nina and Luana had already been fighting. Luana did not want her father's money. She told him he could give it all to charity if he wanted. What she did not want was for Nina to get it. She believed Nina had treated her father badly. She told him, "Don't let her have it, Daddy, because of what she's done to you." Many of Rawls' friends agreed with her. They believed Nina had used him. Before Rawls passed away, he had asked his road manager to take important things from his home. He wrote a notarized letter about it. These items included his wedding ring, his gold and platinum albums, and his Grammy Awards. After he died, Nina accused Luana of stealing these things. She even went to the police about it. But Rawls' close friends said that Luana was only following her father's wishes. Just 3 days before Rawls died, Nina brought lawyers to his hospital room. She made him sign papers that took back everything he had planned. But people who were there said Rawls was not in his right mind. He was weak and under a lot of stress. They believed he was not thinking clearly when he signed the papers. People who knew Rawls did not understand why he stayed with Nina for so long. Some thought he was just lonely. Others believed Nina had something over him, maybe even a secret about the domestic violence case. One friend said, "She was like a bad addiction, worse than any drug." After Rawls died, the fight over his estate continued. His friends and family were divided. Some believed Nina took advantage of him, while others thought Luana was too involved in his affairs. What is clear is that Lou Rawls' final years were full of drama and sadness. Instead of resting in peace, his name remained in the headlines because of the battle over his money and belongings.